Perhaps one way of describing how I was involved with the army training in early stages. My involvement with training and Diethalava will probably bring out some of the details any of the researchers later may want to know. Now, in 1953, as I told you somewhere else that I was started the Ops Monty in Mana. And while in Mana, in Pesale camp, I had an army signal from army headquarters saying that I am posted to Army Recruit Training Depot as a platoon commander. At that time, when I was posted to Diethalava, the Army Training Depot was where the present SLMA is. The same polo grounds were there, the same parade square was there, and the same huts as you enter ATC or SLMA was there. So when I went there, it was manned by 4 platoon commanders, ex-Second World War. And the officer commanding was, as I told you earlier somewhere else, was Major Roy Douglas Jayatilaka. So it had a second in command, a captain, and four platoon commanders. That was the structure of the officer cadet training, Army Recruit Training Depot. And that's all that was there in Diethalava as far as training goes. So I went in as I was the first officer of the new generation, meaning after the war, to go in there. And with that, 2 months later, everybody was changed there. Roy Douglas Jayatilaka left and Alexander Richard Udugama came in as OC. I was the platoon commander. Then the other platoon commanders were Lieutenant Tissa Veeratunga, then Cyril Ranatunga, and Manu Madavilla. So they were the 4 platoon commanders. Few months later, the second in command left. I became the second in command. That's end of 1953 or early 54. My 3 subalterns were Veeratunga, Ranatunga, and Madavilla. I was the most senior infantry officer of those who came out as saddest of the first batch. Other 3 being Veeratunga, Gunawardena, and Anderson. Soon after, then I became the second in command as a lieutenant, because Richard Udugama wanted me. Somehow or other we got on very well. He liked me, I liked him. So, and then soon after that, Ranatunga left, Veeratunga left, and the other officers came in. I got promoted to captain. I was the second in command officially. And it was so. It remained so for a few years. During that time, from Recruit Training Depot, we started training, weapon training courses, then simple tactical courses, and in a big way we were training the volunteer officers who come into camp in Diethalava. So that was a very busy time for us, and we enjoyed training the volunteers. Mind you, most of it I handled myself, with other subalterns to help, but the planning and the conduct of the courses were entirely my own. So I remained there for 2 years. Then I went to Army headquarters as staff captain. Then from Army headquarters, there's only two staff captains. One staff was myself, other staff captain was Dennis Pereira. So they were called Staff Captain A. And we had one DAQMG and the next was Chief of Staff. That was the structure for administrative Army headquarters. After 6 months in staff, as Staff Captain A, I became G3. All that meant was, and G3, the G2 was Baha, Colonel Baha, Major Baha was the G2. And while there, I got to go to School of Infantry, Warminster. That was in 57 or 58, 1958. No, in between, while I was G3, I was one of the first to go on United Missions mission work. That was in Lebanon, Gil. That was in 1959. My colleague was Sil Ranathuba and myself and two other officers. One was Major Lawala and the other was Basil Henricus from the military police. So four of us went to Lebanon. An interesting story must tell here, because that was being the first mission. The Prime Minister was Mr. Bandaranaike, and he was all the going on a UN mission was something brand new to Sri Lanka. So Mr. Bandaranaike wanted to see that the name of Sri Lanka was preserved and kept clean. So he asked the four of us to come to his house in Rosmead Place, and he spoke to us directly, had tea with him and told him, he told us that he expects a higher standard from us while we are in Lebanon. So that's by the side. But as soon as I came back from Lebanon, I made a mistake. I was G3 at Army headquarters. So after a few months, I went to School of Infantry, Warminster. There I did the platoon commander's course, followed by the company commander's course. And I came back again to Diathalao. There I was, then ARTD, or Army Recruit Training Depot, in 1959 became Army Training Center. And Colonel Baha, who was G2, was the Army Training Center Commandant. And I was the Chief Instructor of the Army Training Center. So Baha knew me at Army headquarters. I had just finished the company commander's course in School of Infantry at Warminster. I said, mind you, I was the leading infantry officer at that time, so I was the man for all seasons, if you want to say, or you want to use the term. Because at that time the belief was only infantry officers do these things. Because the main thing we did there was infantry training. From basic drill and weapon training, it became tactical course or tactics course. So I was first the chief instructor of the drill and weapon training course, and there was a British officer secondant who was doing the tactical wing of the Army Training Center. So we had two wings of the Army Training Center: drill and weapon training wing and the tactical wing or tactics wing. So from drill, I was the chief instructor of drill and weapon training to start with. Then the British officer, Ingram was his name, he finished his tenure at Diathalao, He went back to England, I went over to the tactics wing. The tactics wing, I conducted the first full officer training in Sri Lanka. I was the chief instructor. And some of the members of that group of cadets were Tilak Ponoperuma, who became later my adjutant, Munasinghe, or the Simi, we had Dingo Dharmapala, who went to the military police. We had Abhay Wardana, the signals, they all became major generals.